Hi guys, today I'll be showcasing you guys how to animate using a pre-rigged model with on Blender. What you need for this is two things. It's a rig that you can find. Places where that gives out free rigs are such as P2 Design Academy. You can follow this link, and if you scroll down, this one has free rigs to a really good guy by P. Quat. He has some good nice free rigs, and if you get really interested, you can do the rigging course here, which is actually really good and insane. Or you can go to Agora community thingy, so you can get one of these free rigs. Make sure you just choose the one that says Blender. All of those the P2 design rigs are all Blender related. I think I'm gonna use this guy because I want to try this guy out, so I might download him in a second. And then after that, we need like some reference clips. So I got a reference clip of me pretending to throw, so we're going to need that as well. You can stick this on a second screen, or I can help you stick this onto your Blender one of the viewports, but otherwise those are the things you need. And this is just an exercise to showcase you guys, you know, once you're in industry, people will just give you a rig and you just have to animate them, because we're animators, so we don't have to make anything, we just need to animate very, very well. So if all you get out of this is how to animate just like the starting point of animation, that's good. So I downloaded this quick this rig from Agora. So on this place I downloaded beta. This comes in a zip. If you open that, you get over to this place, which gives you just a disclaimer where it says it's made by this guy, Crab Nuts, and it's used for don't use for commercial reason, but use it for educational stuff. So this is educational stuff purpose only, but don't do anything to this thing, because otherwise we will mess it up basically. So what we want to do is append this to a new kind of Blender file, so which I'll showcase you guys. So open up a new Blender instance, and then we're going to go and find a file, or we can go file append over here, and we're just going to go find the file, which should be under Blender, and then this is the rig, and then we're just going to find where the whole thing is. So I'm guessing, let me just go back to the other one. So it's going to be the master beta collection. So we're going to go and find it over here, go to collections and master beta, and then append. And the only problem with doing this is because the file didn't come with a rig.ui underscore Python file, we lost some of our rig layers. So what rig layers are in Blender is this little thing. If you press N, this will show it, and this will help you kind of like turn things on, turn things off into IK, for example. Just general things that might help you with animation. So so if you find that as an issue, you can just use this, but make sure you just save a duplicate. But if I'm going to do it on the other one, just to show you guys that it doesn't really matter which one you use. It's the same thing. You still have the same bones. It's just that you can't go ahead and, for example, I can like disable the face, for example. So I don't see all the face controls when I'm not animating the face, for example. But yeah, so I'll just work on this one. You can kind of do it, I'm going to work on the other one. You can kind of do it manually. If you click on this guy and go to here, these are all your rig layers anyway. It just won't regenerate in a nice way like that, but it's fine. It is fine. But once you get to this stage, you want to go figure out what everything does. I mean, after a few practice and getting more used to nodes and stuff, you'll just recognize things automatically. But you want to go ahead and click on the rig and go to pose mode and see what everything does. So I know, for example, that this might, well, one of these is the root bone. So there's a little bit more rooting allowed. So there's a lot of extra root bones that you can do stuff with, so that's interesting, that's new. But everything on the base is the root bone. So this guy, if you were to move for starting animation, if you were to want to animate this guy moving across somewhere, this is the controller you want to use. You don't want to keep this on the ground. You want to like block out where this guy's going to go across the field or the plane. and then do all of its stuff afterwards. After that, we just know this is an IK, so after you push it, we have IK, which is inverse kinematic. So if I move the end of this, everything behind it will move. We can turn, I think FK will be working, or tweaker bones might be working. I'm not sure. Let's see. Let's turn on the FK. So the FK here is here, and I don't think I can turn it on, unfortunately. Because it's on FK mode, so, I mean IK mode, because I don't have the controllers. But let me just show you the difference. So if I turn on, so this is on IK, and then if I turn on FK, we can go see the difference here. It's not on, but if I turn this one on, this would probably do it. As you can see, that's doing it. We don't have this control on the other one, so we just gotta go for the IK. So that's the difference. You just can't go for IK and inverse kinematics because it didn't come with the script for you to change it. But I will go ahead and go around and see what each thing does. So this bone is like kind of like a deformation bone, where you can change the position. This is like the pole vector, so if I change it, the knees always points to this little orb. Let me just turn off the FK here. This guy, ooh, this one's a weird. Make sure you try everything out. So for example, you press R to rotate, S and everything, and G to see what everything does, because everything does a little bit slightly different, you know. So for example, if I scale this finger, it will roll in on itself. So that's really useful and well rigged. So this will probably do the same. But if I G it, it'll move everywhere. And then the hand moves like this. Is there no IK for this? There doesn't seem to be IK for the hands. Let me just check the other one to see if that's consistent. Yes, apparently the arm is on FK mode. So let me go find the arms and see if I can turn on the IKs for the arm. So that's the arm IK. It should be this massive thing, but it's not turned on. So what you can do here is turn it on the other one, and then append it back in, basically. But it depends how you want to animate. You can go ahead and animate like this, and it's as good as like. It's also got muscle deformation, which is really nice. So you can go a bit ahead and do that. There's scales as well, so remember you can also scale and stuff. Scale, rotate, everything. Just check out what everything does, and once you get really familiar with it, I'll show you guys how to put in the your like kind of example animation, or like a reference video, and you can just animate from there, and you can start exaggerating things from there. But yeah, let's go ahead and just mess around with this guy a little bit more, see what we can do with him. That's really cool, interesting. Then let's try out some of this stuff. So move, S, R. So this is what you would do once you get given a rig, basically. You would go ahead and kind of figure out what everything, all of these buttons kind of do, and try to work around, trying to see if yeah, basically just see what it does, you know, and work out what the rigger has kind of done for you to help you animate, basically. But yeah, work that as well. Oh, and something to note, once you're moving things and you want everything to be back to base, you can press A, select everything, and press Alt G, Alt S, Alt R just to confirm. So for example, if I went and moved this guy here, rotated it like that, and scaled it a little bit, if I press Alt S, Alt G, Alt R, it just becomes back to normal. Okay, so to put your reference image in, we're going to split our screen. So hover over one of the corners and split it. We're going to go to Movie Clip Editor, and then we're going to go find it. I won't provide these, you can just record something yourself, guys. And there we have it over here. And we can go and see how it moves, and we can try to recreate this on the other side. So because of how it moves, it depends how you like to do your animation, but usually I would like to block out so it goes from left to right, like here to here, the main person. So I would go and block it out, but maybe you might not want to do that in this case scenario, because it's just because it doesn't move very far, and it's timed in a certain way. So it's up to you, but I'll go ahead and figure out how I want to go about this. Okay, I've decided I'm going to go ahead and do the root movement later, but if it was like a running scene or a big movement, I would do the block out for this first. So it depends on what you want. Basically, what I want to do here is just replicate what I see here. So what this guy is doing is essentially, let's see if this will rotate the right way. Right way. So yeah, it will. So I'm facing this kind of direction, so I will do that. I'll also use the tool to help me for rotation purposes. This tool is really important. So I'm kind of facing that way, and then I want this guy to face always that way, because I know that's straight. And then I'm gonna go and rotate these guys and place them over here. Rotate it a bit more, and do the same thing over here. Use a mix of G and whatever to get to the position that I need it to. Something like that. Sometimes that gets in the way, but something along the lines of this. Make sure we look in all the views just to see that we've kind of got it in the right place. And we're just trying to set the scene up, the first scene up, so I mean the first keyframe up, so it looks perfect. Kind of like this. Move it back a little bit, and then we're gonna go ahead and do this until I'm gonna do this until I get the correct scene. The correct pose. And then once you're happy with this, you can go ahead and press I. This will put a keyframe for all of those actions. Sometimes you don't want all of them actions, but I'm just gonna do it quickly and make sure that I press I, so it's registered that it's a keyframe. And once you're happy, you can also go press A and I to register that to keyframe everything, just in case. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and make the first pose, do a few poses, all keyframes, and then I'll go ahead and come back once I've done a bit. So I've kind of positioned this guy in the like rough things. Just make sure that your keyframes are very clean. So I'm gonna press I here and just keyframe all of this. So and I wouldn't go keyframe a lot of things. So don't like go to 2 and then like move it around, because it didn't even move. The thing about 3D animation, it kind of does the in-betweens for you, so you don't have to worry about it. Just do it so that get to the position where it's the most change, which is right here, and then and then afterwards over here with follow-up secondary animation. So I'm gonna go from here, and I can see that is pretty much the point of no return. Around 26 frames in, this is where I'm gonna go and make the next pose. So I'm gonna put this into the next pose, which involves rotating this dude around a little bit further, like so, and then tilting, remember press I, and then tilting this guy even further this way, and then I will go from there, basically just the same thing, and get to the position, and then we're gonna go and just keep on working on it until we've done it. Here's the first kind of frames that we have. So as you can see, it does that little charge, and then we need to do the next part where we step down and throw it. As you can see, it might look a little bit static, but don't worry about that now. Don't go ahead and like do some weird things to make this look a bit weird, like jiggle it like or like do more easing or put more keyframes in to make this better, because we want to key out the whole thing first, and then we can go back in to keyframe the nudges or secondary animations afterward if we need to. We just want to get the general flow first, and also if you don't see the full thing, you can't tell if it looks weird or not. So I know this might look a bit static to you, but in the end it actually could look very like good enough. where you don't need to add too much, but the more you add in early, the more mistakes you'll find, and it'll be harder to adjust later on, basically. So just keep on going. So the next keyframe that is really basically that's basically very next keyframe will probably be that one, maybe, and then the swing through. It could be a little bit more than that, but I think it's definitely this step. Somewhere around here is where I'm going to put the next keyframe. Well, I'll figure it out. So I missed out the keyframe over here, so I did one here initially, but it didn't really make sense without this keyframe behind it, where it kind of pulls it like that, basically. But I think nothing's happening to that back leg, so I need to try to make it a bit more unique than that. So I'm going to try to put this back into position like so. But yeah, this is the basics of animation, so just keep on going until you finish the whole thing. I think hopefully you guys understand what's going on right now, and I'll come back once I've done a bit more and hopefully get like the rough of the shot done, and then we can go ahead and add some more animation things so that it makes it look a little bit better. Now we've got the general movement in, and as you can see, we just continue on doing this until like we get the next part and the next part. And as you can see, it's pretty simple once you have like a reference image. All we have to just a little bit of creative creative thing that you can do is just to exaggerate everything, stretch out everything, and just like that, basically, and add more secondary animation so it looks more convincing. But once you get the base done like this, I could do this little follow through, for example. That's up to you guys. But yeah, you can add more frames in between just to get more just to get the secondary animation in, or like anything that doesn't really coherently make sense. You can change the speed of this, for example, stuff like that. But as soon as you get the basics in, you can start editing, add more, take away stuff that's making your frame lag. But as you can see, this is pretty close to as you see it here. But yeah, continue on, guys. But hopefully guys like this tutorial, and I'll see you guys next time.